It is time we expose the harsh reality of why the rape gangs were protected in Oldham. Today I stand outside the criminal Oldham headquarters of Greater Manchester Police Force as a candidate in the forthcoming general election for Oldham West Royton. My first pledge to you is simple. With your vote, we will put an end to the unholy alliance between Andy Burnham's Greater Manchester Police and the criminal cartels in Oldham's Pakistani and Bangladeshi communities. Whilst it is true that the rape gangs are racially motivated crimes, there is an additional political dimension that cannot be ignored. It is time to expose this truth and share why these men were really protected. The real reason behind their shield of impunity lies not in any desire to maintain community relations, but in the political affiliations that granted these men their immunity in the first place. They have been shielded because of their links with those who seek to gain votes and retain power. The cost of innocent lives and shattered communities does not matter to them or those that protect them. The likes of SHABIR AHMED and his gang evaded justice because they held a crucial political leverage, their ability to deliver votes for the Labour Party. Until recently, it remained hidden from the public how the ringleader of the Rochdale grooming gang, in addition to having access to vulnerable girls through his paid position at Oldham Council, was also a key figure of the Labour Party. He wasn't just an ordinary member. He was much more. Shockingly, several Labour Party politicians in our town were acquainted with him. They were even his friends. Yet they have remained silent about their associations. A mayor of the town cannot recall if he provided his Labour Party paedophile colleague with a reference to trying to help him escape prison. That's right, a mayor of the town cannot recall if he provided SHABIR AHMED with a reference. This complicity cannot be tolerated any longer. How many of McMAHON's Muslim councillors knew Daddy? How many in the Labour Party protected him? Who else covered up for his crimes? Now allow me to shed light on another such network protected by Greater Manchester Police. I have mentioned them before. It is, of course, the OBA cartel, who, by the way, were responsible for the anonymous complaint that led to yet another one of my unlawful arrests. Champions of Jim McMahon MP, the OBA has long faced allegations of harvesting postal votes through their control of the council-funded Oldham Central Mosque. The majority of the committee are members of the Labour Party. The chairman is the brother of the powerful councillor Abdul Jabbar, and the previous chairman, by the way, was a convicted sex offender. They all covered it up. The police know who they were. They know what they do. And as with the grooming gangs, they look the other way. My estimate is that the OBA provides Labour and its MP Jim McMahon with roughly a third of his votes at election. For over a decade, those affiliated with the OBA have received preferential police protection that resulted in an unhealthy political relationship where criminals are protected at the expense of justice. It isn't just the rape gang members that are protected. These men are protected at all levels. Let us take the example of Mushtaq Mia, himself a supporter of the OBA and an affiliate of the Coldust branch of the Labour Party. Mushtaq Mia is now inciting violence against me for exposing the cover-up of the rape gangs in Oldham. He enjoys protection from Andy Burnham's Greater Manchester Police Force due to his political affiliations. In an attempt to tarnish my reputation, this man has resorted to spreading false accusations through a Facebook group he runs called Westwood and Coldust Community Watch. It has over 3,000 members. Go and have a look. If you didn't know Oldham, you'd be mistaken for thinking Oldham was a town in the Middle East, with all of the pro-Hamas imagery and anti-Jewish posts contained within this Facebook group. Not only has he published my photograph and labelled me a child abuser and rapist, he has also manipulated a GMP press release regarding the prosecution of a criminal gang and doctored it with my photograph. His intentions are clear: to cause me alarm, distress, and to incite violence against me. Astonishingly, Chief Superintendent Chris Bowen and his Oldham police force have refused to apprehend Mushtaq Mia. One cannot help but question the reasons why police officers such as DC Alexandra Collier, Detective Sergeant Daniel Berry, whatever rank Suzanne Chadwick is, and others at this police station behind me are turning a blind eye to members of this gang. Imagine what would happen to any of us if we doctored a GMP press release of a paedophile gang and superimposed Jim McMahon's photograph to make it look like he was the one who had been convicted. How quickly would we be arrested if we claimed Andy Burnham was a rapist and child molester? There can be only one conclusion as to why Chief Constable Ian Watson's police force, proven for protecting the Pakistani rape gangs and likely protecting those that firebombed Councillor AROOJ Shah's car, refused to investigate Mushtaq Mia. If you ask the residents of Westwood and Coldest, they will confirm this reality. Certain individuals are shielded not just because of who they are or which families they belong to, but most significantly due to how many postal votes they provide their cartels come the elections. The police, like the politicians, are in their pockets. In the community I hail from, drug dealing openly takes place and young men casually display their wealth by leaving gold bars inside £100,000 sports cars parked outside their modest terraced houses and council flats. Just where do you think the money is coming from? Just why do you think they display it so openly? In Oldham, criminals operate without fear of prosecution because they know block votes grant them immunity. In some instances, police officers themselves are members of these families and even provide criminals with insider information. This must end. Recall the incident this time last year of vigilantes attacking houses in Oldham after a young man was left for dead? Do you know the reason behind their actions? It was because the police had failed to make any arrests. The community knew why. The attackers were from the OBA. They were protected. So confident were they of their political immunity, they even shared footage of the beating on social media. It was a step too far. People had enough, which is why they took to the streets. Greater Manchester Police later tried to cover up their initial failings by claiming a lack of interpreters to understand the severity of the assault. Their claim is as absurd as their failure to share CCTV footage of the firebombing of AROOJ Shah's car or explain why 2 years later no one has been charged. This is the reality we face in Oldham, a police force that looks not to political correctness but political connections before making arrests. Where these connections are confirmed, they actively avoid investigations and do everything possible to make sure no charges are brought forward. These gangsters and child abusers in Oldham's Pakistani and Bangladeshi community know there is little chance of comeback for them. They know all about how the politically infiltrated police will look the other way and how they are above the law. Which is why men like Mushtaq Mia make malicious allegations against me and get away with it, whilst I am arrested for speaking out against the partnership between politicians, cartels and the police, and of course, the gang rape of our town's children. My first pledge to you as a candidate in the forthcoming general election is a simple one. Vote for me, and Greater Manchester Police's partnership with the criminal cartels in Oldham's Pakistani and Bangladeshi communities will end. As MP for Oldham West and Royton, I will blow the lid and force a reckoning. The government will be forced to intervene in Oldham. These drug dealers, postal vote fraudsters and child rapists will be prosecuted irrespective of who they are or which political party they are connected with. The police will be forced to arrest these criminals and the police officers involved in protecting them will be hunted down and prosecuted. This is not an empty promise. It is a solemn pledge to the people of Oldham. I ask for your trust, your vote and your unwavering support in this crucial battle for the very soul of our town. Stay strong. They will come for me. They will come for you. And with everything they have, they will try to stop us. Just look at my recent arrest where unnamed police officers from this very station attempted to imprison me until after the election in a desperate attempt to stop me from campaigning. Why else, if not at the request of Andy Burnham's Labour Party, would they do this? Why is it in a 21st century liberal Western democracy a police force attempts to interfere in an election? And it wasn't the first time they tried this, was it, DS Dean? Look at Operation Hexagon and know that every one of you who supports me is being monitored. Your details are on an unlawful and very much illegal database. What they attempt will not matter. Neither the cartels or the criminal police will stop us. Together we will ensure that justice prevails, that criminals are brought to account, and that the corrupt alliances that have plagued this town are dismantled. Stand with me, and together we will bring about the change we so desperately need. There was a time when I believed that the way to judge a man was through the conviction of his character, the company he keeps, and the history of his deeds. Now I know this is no longer enough, so I ask you to also judge me by the enemies I have made. Politicians promise hope. I am not a politician. So I promise you more than hope. I promise you justice. To the people of my hometown, I am here to tell you that McMahon's reign is at an end. His block vote will not save him. There is a reckoning on the horizon. In the upcoming general election, we will take back our town. This tyranny will fall. These despots will be defeated. And justice is coming.